Hey, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to cover how I went from being a heroin addict in and out of jail, rehabs, detox, all that stuff, looking at a huge potential prison sentence to making over $500,000 a year in final expense telesales. I hope this story can serve as some sort of a motivation to anybody out there who may be struggling in active addiction or may have family members in active addiction. And even if you've gone through, you don't have to have gone through addiction to had tough things happen in your life, right? Unfortunately, that was the low period of my life, but not everybody has to have that be a low period of their life. It can be someone important to you dying. It can be maybe just a failure in business. It can be a failure at something in life, or maybe just a struggle, maybe a big spell of depression or something like that. But I'm gonna go over kind of how I came through that, because there was a lot that went into it, and it was a long journey. As always, please subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications if you find value in this content. I hope I help anybody. And if you'd like a copy of my free script, or you'd like a free consultation with me, a 10-minute consultation, just email me at jve@thejve.com. That's jve@thejve.com. I'll put my email in the description of the video. And yeah, so it started, I was addicted to opiates for like 4 or 5 years, did a bunch of stupid stuff. It was horrible. Credit score ruined, arms ruined. I still got track marks on my arms. You know, you can see like the lines and the veins and stuff from the needles. My teeth were all rotted out. I got like fillings. They're all my real teeth now, but I had, holes in my teeth. I was like probably 80 pounds lighter than I am now. I was like 140 pounds and I'm like 220 now. I was broke. My credit score was 420. No one liked me. I had only a couple family members that really still believed in me, and it was tough because I went from being like pretty much top of my class in high school to going into college and then kind of losing my direction and just spiraling out of control in addiction. It went from weed, which I believe is a drug. July 9, 2014, I got arrested for heroin charges. And then I went to jail for about 6 months. I was looking at a potentially very, very long sentence, and I didn't get convicted. The charges were dropped. After that, I went to a rehab program. I voluntarily checked myself into a rehab program because I knew I couldn't go back to like what I was doing. So I went to the rehab facility, and I had gone to detox before. But I went I went right because I detoxed in jail. It wasn't fun. Like I didn't sleep for like 17 days. The first 17 days, I literally didn't sleep an hour, and that's not a lie. I did not sleep for 17 days straight, and that is brutal. I was withdrawing. I couldn't move. I was shaking so hard from withdrawals that I couldn't bring a spoon up to my mouth to eat the cereal that we were getting. It was like the most bland, like Wheaties you'd ever get in your life. It was disgusting. So anyways, I was there for several months, and then got out and went to a rehab right away. Checked myself in, like a long-term place. It was 9 month program. Really changed my life. I may get emotional talking about it, but that place is called Project Turnabout. It's in Massachusetts. It saved my life, literally. And so I went from there. I was there for 9 months. I met a great group of guys. Unfortunately, like 30% of the guys that I was with at the time, they're probably 25% of them are dead. Really, really good people just lost their way with addiction. They were all clean at the time and then relapsed. And I met some really good friends, had some strong relationships built out of there. So I went through there, and then I got into selling cars. And then I was like, you know what? I want to start in insurance. Someone introduced me to the industry, so I went to the insurance industry from there, and really I kind of went all in. And now that you know a little bit of the background, I'm going to go over why that helped me be successful now. Because one, I feel like I'm living on borrowed time. The amount of drugs I've done, I feel like I could have died many times, and I did overdose a few times, and so my life was saved by some divine providence. I'm here still. And I feel like it's my duty to provide for myself and my family, and to show the world that I can help. I can be a positive contributing member to society and help people be successful. That really drives me. So it's not about me anymore. Like I was super selfish in addiction, and getting clean. And really, it wasn't just getting the drugs out of my system, right? It was going to that rehab for 9 months to learn how to make my bed again, learn to not keep like my food in my room, in my drawer, learn to wake up at a certain time, learn to be consistent with a schedule, with a routine, learn to be responsible, learn to, pay your taxes, learn how to do, work on your credit, like all this stuff. So But anyways, so that was a springboard, and I feel like that's kind of why I got into team building. Like, yes, you can make a lot of money from it, and I wanted to build an organization and a business that can eventually pay me, because deep down I'm really lazy. I'll do whatever I can to create a system so that I don't have to work anymore at some point. And but I'm here, and I contribute, and I really, really want to help other people be successful in the business. Like I said, if you have any questions for me, just reach out to me, email me, jve@thejve.com, and we can schedule a consultation, a one-on-one or whatever. It could just be for a few minutes. You can ask me any questions you want about the business and the industry. I got in, and I kind of just went like all in, right? Like, I had credit cards. I was big into Grant Cardone. I am still big into Grant Cardone, and he was all about like, hey, you don't have any money, but you got credit cards, max them out and to build your business. So I learned how to market through a good friend of mine, Jeremy Kovitana, and I learned how to advertise on Facebook, and I kind of went all in. So I spent a ton of money on ads, and then final expense telesales is really tough to start in when you're selling multiple carriers, building an agency, and I got whacked after like 7 or 8 months in the business with like $60,000-$70,000 in chargebacks. It was probably more over that time, and I was in about $100,000 in credit card debt by then. So I joined Senior Life Services, and we changed our internal structures, and it really, really helped. So I joined SLS, and I feel like I'm always willing to risk money. I don't really look at money like if I get like a $30,000 check, like it doesn't give me a high. Like I never get excited. I don't know. I can't explain it. Like I'm never like pumped. I'll have people call me and that work with me and be like, how much money you made? That's awesome. And it just I'm like, oh that's sick. But like I don't know. I don't really get a high from it. Like other people do. Like I see, because when I tell people who get a big check, they like freak out. And I never do that. Like money doesn't have that same image to me. It's just a tool. I feel like I'd be okay. I've had no money before, it's worse. Like I had no people in my life. So for me to risk it all, it's a daily thing. Like I don't really care. I could end up, I'd rather risk it all and say I tried than not take any risks and say I didn't try. And I literally risked my life every single day and chased my high all day. So for me to take that risk, it doesn't even faze me. Like I don't care. I don't. And I'm going to continually do that until I'm extremely successful. And look, in a year I could have no money. I could be bankrupt. And but that's okay. I'll just pick myself back up and do it again, because that's what I've done before. So and I owe it to one of my biggest motivators is retiring my dad, because my mom passed away, unfortunately. She was an amazing woman, through so much crap that I want to repay him and help take care of him. And these big motivators and these whys behind it, the reason why I'm talking about this is because like this drives me to be successful. This means so much to me that it literally wakes me up in the middle of the night and gets me going and pushes me way more than most people I've ever met. And it's not even motivation. It's just like an obligation and a duty to be successful and to change. Wow. And like I said, like I feel like I was given this time by my higher power to live through, and I could easily not be here. Just like a lot of those guys I met in and out of rehabs and detox and when I was using, and I have to take advantage of it. So like I can't waste this time, right? And you want to use your failures to learn and grow. All right, I'm looking down here to take notes. Usually I have it like behind me on a screen or something, but this is kind of just impromptu. I needed this today. So I use my failures to learn and grow. And this passion is what helps me always continually want to learn. So it's an extremely important thing for you guys to be successful. You have to continually try to learn. You have to want to grow. You have to want to be better every single day and put your best foot forward. And like I feel like people make excuses, always make excuses. I used to always make excuses. Someone who says, "Oh, I can't work because my kids." Bro, you were making excuses before you had kids, right? Someone says, "Oh, I can't work because like this happened." Right? You were making excuses before that happened. And I just had to come to a point in my life where I stopped making excuses about it, and I invest a lot of time on weekends into growing and learning and improving, working on my sales skills, my marketing skills, and how I can help other people be successful. So like I always want to give back. And an important thing in your business is that you have to recognize when you aren't good at something, and you have to admit it, right? It's like the first step in the 12 steps. Like you have to admit to yourself that you're powerless over this situation. So you have to admit that like you aren't good at something, and you have to find a way to be successful at it. Like swallow your pride and say, "I stink." and I'm going to go learn how to be better. And that's the only reason why I've been successful in this. Yes, every day I wake up and I bust my butt, or I try. There's people who work harder than me, but like, I'm always trying to learn and improve and grow. So you don't learn from never trying. All right, give it your all, push, and this has helped me earn. Last year I made over $500,000 in final expense telesales, and 2014 I had nothing. I was negative. I was in debt. I had debt collectors and all these other things. And now I'm able to pay my bills and take care of things. But it's a long journey. So like, if you're just starting in the business and you're not successful, like, don't quit. Don't give up. If you're struggling, don't quit. Don't give up. You got to work with someone who's going to help you be successful too. I invest so much into my team every month. Like, I invest a lot of money and time into helping people grow under me, and you got to be with someone who's like that. Now, this isn't a recruiting pitch. If you want to figure out what we do here at SLS, by all means, reach out to me, jve@thejve.com, and I'll fill you in. But you want to work with someone that's going to be there for you and not just like looking for like an override. It's like, I never had an agent make a sale and looked at the paper and been like, hey, how much money did I make off that sale? It's how much money did they make? Okay, so you want to work with someone who's selfless, but get up every day, give it your all, turn your worst moment in your life into your best moment in your life. Make sure that is the platform. Like, for me, it's like I take a bunch of risks because it can never get worse than it was for me at that point. Okay, so I want you to find the lowest point in your life and be like, hey, that's the worst my life will ever be. It'll never be worse than that, and I'm going to make sure that. And you just got to wake up every day and go through it. This is a tough business. It's hard to find your way. You got to buy leads, or on our system, people don't buy leads. They have a reduced commission level, but like, you have to find a clientele. You have to get good at sales. The first year in this business is really, really hard. The second year is tough. The third year, things get better. And the fourth year, I'm on my fourth year now, I'm really hoping that things really, really get good. So it's a long-term play. This is a career. This is not a job. You can't get into insurance with a job mindset. You have to get in with a career business mindset, because this business will punch you in the mouth 100 times your first year. And it'll punch you in your heart, and it'll squeeze it and rip it out and stomp it on the ground. And then when it heals, it does it all over again. And for me, I still deal with a lot of stress. It's like, yeah, I made a good amount of money, but I think the amount of stress and pressure I deal with on a daily basis, most people wouldn't want to have in exchange for that money. And it's hard for me to, you may not believe it, but like, think about it. Anything that comes on my shoulders as a responsibility, I have like 90 agents whose income my decisions affect, right? I have 3 leaders in my leadership team who, if I mess up on something, if I don't recruit enough people, if I have an error, if I make a mistake, it affects their income, meaning that they can't do the same thing with their families. They have people at home that they have to go home into and be like, hey, I didn't make enough money as I wanted to this month, or we're not going to be able to do this because of this. So it's a lot of pressure for me anyway, because I look at it that way because I really want to help other people. So if I'm not able to provide that for other people, and sometimes it hurts me too, because I've made promises that I haven't been able to keep in business, just out of the goodness of my heart, wanting to, I think it's the goodness out of my heart anyway, I don't know, saying, hey, I want to do this for you. And then when the time comes, I'm like, yo, I can't do that. I can't afford to do that. So, but I'm kind of just rambling on here. This wasn't more of like as much of a training video as it is like, yo, you can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. I know 100% if I can do this, you can do this. You just have to get obsessed with getting good at sales, good at marketing and advertising, or get with a company that provides you all the tools that you need. Learn and grow. Don't flip-flop around from 50 IMOs to another. You got to look internally and say, where can you get better? If you're not putting 40 to 50, I would say 50 hours a week when you're starting, you're not going to make it in this business. Like, you're not. Stop playing with it. Stop playing yourself. Like, you're not going to be successful not putting in a lot of effort. That's why part-timers come to me. I don't hire part-timers. I can't tell people when to work, but I tell them, look, I have a lot of people applying to work with me. If you can't put in 50 plus hours a week, I don't want to work with you. I love you. But good luck. You're not going to be in the business in 6 months if you're just trying to part-time it. So, like, I went all in my addiction. So I'm all in on this addiction. I'm addicted to life insurance. I'm addicted to final expense. We're going to start an insurance carrier here at SLS, and that's the goal. So I hope this helps all of you accomplish your goals. I hope this was maybe a little bit of motivation and could maybe help you understand that, hey, we can all recover from a dark time in our lives, and we can all push through it. I found that giving myself more to do, and this is how my brain works. Like, if I don't have enough to do, I get depressed. If I don't have a new goal to pursue, I get depressed. So I'm constantly trying to come up with new things to make, new things to do, new endeavors to try, because that's what keeps me motivated. If I don't have that, I get depressed, I get sad, I get upset. So look, always challenge yourself, always have something new to do, master this, it can change your life. I hope I can help you change your life in any way possible. Email me at jve@thejve.com. You're not gonna wanna miss this next video coming up where I cover every single objection and final expense telesales. Stay tuned.